So kalau kita nak cakap kat dia that PH ni bagus, kita kena kekalkan, dia marah. And siapa yang lawan PH? PAS dengan UMNO. And PAS dengan UMNO janjikan ini semua ni masalah ni sebab Anwar Ibrahim tak reti buat kerja. Anwar Ibrahim jadi Perdana Menteri sebab orang Cina dengan India sokong Anwar Ibrahim. Jadi semua ini salah orang Cina dengan orang India. Jadi untuk kita betulkan keadaan, kita kena buang Anwar Ibrahim, ganti kerajaan baru. Sebab itu kita kena kalahkan DAP-PH ni, kalahkan orang Cina dan India yang telah bersatu padu menaikkan Anwar Ibrahim. Actually that's the narrative. If you put yourself in their shoes, yang dia tak ambil tahu pasal politik pun, all they want ialah I just want a better life. Saya dah bagi peluang kepada PH 8 tahun daripada 2018, it's not getting better. Then okay lah, who can do the job better, bagi kat diorang. So, I come from kampung tau. I grew up, my parents were not educated. So, kita tak boleh termakan dengan naratif yang everything ni pasal perkauman, yang gelombang. Sebab itu I have my criticism of DAP. Sebab saya rasa DAP play exactly the same card, cuma kepada non-Malay. DAP akan kata, tengok ini semua Melayu semua PAS sudah convert dekat madrasah-madrasah, and they all ini is racist semua. It's actually not. There are majority of those people sekarang yang swing daripada PH yang Melayu ni kepada PAS dengan UMNO ni, they are economic voters. The same people yang swing menaikkan PH in 2018. But Anwar and PH don't have the economic solution. And the reason being is macam yang saya sebut tadi lah. The reform is too much, it's too much work to rock the boat, there are so many vested interests. Jadi they are only interested to remain in that position without really solving the problem, kan? So, yalah, I think we miss the boat sekarang. And tanggungjawab saya ni melalui bersama semua is to make sure that, the tide comes and go. It never stays. So bila the tide datang, make sure kita ada rumah kapal yang akan survive the tide. And then bila tide dah tak ada, whatever is left, we are there to fix the situation. Bila kita fokus about social mobility, economic empowerment, you will have a large number of Malay voters, especially yang muda-muda ni, actually yang tak layan sangat pun pasal perkauman semua ni. So don't fall into the illusion that ini ialah orang Melayu membenci orang Cina. Memang ada lah racist macam itu, ada. But they don't represent the majority Malays. They don't. Yang ada macam itu, maybe just 10% in our society, yang betul-betul tengok Cina pun tak boleh, tengok India pun tak boleh, kan? Tapi generally, by and large, yang lain itu, kalau dia undi PAS, dia swing pada PAS and UMNO, generally they are economic voters. They just want to see a different prime minister and a different government, hoping for better things. Okay, that's where it is interesting. You think lepas 1-2 tahun UMNO dengan PAS jadi kerajaan, you think diorang tiba-tiba naik pangkat daripada Grab driver terus jadi CEO Grab? Do you think? They will discover after 2 years, bloody hell, their life gets worse. That's where we want to be. We want to be masa itu. Masa itulah Priscilla, everything yang kita cakap ni make sense to them though. And dia cakap, actually I like this, I like that solution semua. That's how democracy works lah, kan? So sebab itu, I'm very grateful to all of you, because all of you are early believers. You believe way before other people see it through. I'm very confident eventually people see it. Cuma it will take just a little bit longer lah kan. And then 3 questions from you tadi. The guy in the red. PM from Bersama, kalau kita umum sekarang, ahli-ahli Bersama mungkin happy lah. Tapi rakyat Malaysia akan cakap, ini geng-geng delusional. Dia baru saja hilang semua deposit dekat Johor, dia pergi umum Perdana Menteri, channel Perdana Menteri kan. So you know I always believe that subliminally convincing people works so much better. So let's focus on showing macam mana Bersama offers totally different approach to politics yang langsung tak ada kena-mengena dengan UMNO. And then people will eventually realize, actually we need prime ministers yang tidak pernah ada pengalaman dalam UMNO. But that's not verbal tau. That's from our deeds. So we just have to run faster. Sebab itu lepas ini we will start sharing and presenting our policy proposal kepada masalah-masalah ini. Economic problem, what are our policy proposal? Education, what are our policy proposal? Every 2 to 3 weeks we have to do it almost with the pristine quality yang think tank and university does it. It has to come with the right costing, the right analysis. We must engage dengan pakar-pakar semua, open it to their criticism. Let's go through that process. Is those process yang kita tunjukkan kepada orang ramai, eventually will make them realize, actually these people actually are way better daripada semua calon-calon PM yang kita ada daripada UMNO PAS semua ni. And the bar is not high, it's Zahid Hamidi, you know. It just requires some time saja kan. I think Nick dah cakap pasal 2 terms limit lah kan. Cuma yang saya nak tambah satu saja lagi the danger of entrenchment. Bila seseorang itu jadi Perdana Menteri, even menteri lama tahu kan, dia akan mula letakkan semua orang dia in all important positions. Bila that happens, you tukar kerajaan pun, it's very difficult to reverse ataupun to take full control. Sebab semua orang ini dah ada tau. They don't necessarily take order ataupun whatever you nak buat, dia ada alasan dia untuk slow it down. So 2 terms limit, while it's not a silver bullet, it is a good safeguard against entrenchment. And so I fully support that. Even kalau dekat company pun kan, kalau orang tu jadi CEO kan, kalau CEO tu dah lama sangat, dangerous tau. Dia mula semua geng-geng dia ni, GMHR pun orang dia lah, itulah ni, CFO pun tak berani semua, dia dah entrench. Once you dah entrench, masuk CEO baru. Sebab itu corporate di Malaysia ni payah sikit lah. Sebab bila CEO baru, you notice tak, masuk dia tukar habis semua. Dia kata ini orang CEO dulu, because of entrenchment. So bila dia tukar completely new team, you have to start all over again lah. So you cannot hit the ground running lah. Your other question tadi pasal I remember there was 3. Satu pasal to cut down the 1 MDB kan, from 9 years kan. I think there are 2 sides to it. Satu dari segi resource allocation, I think that can be done by the court lah. Sebab itu saya rasa sekarang ini judiciary dah buat special court for corruption. That didn't happen before. So kalau kita ada special court for corruption, it would have expedited the whole thing lah. But whatever is the legal process itu, appeal, turun semua, I don't think politicians want to get in the way. Sebab the process for justice itu, the due process, we must allow the due process lah kan. So I agree in terms of resources. Kalau ada more special corruption, special courts for corruption, that will expedite. Tapi, if you want to amend law so that the rights of the accused, yang itu I disagree lah kan. So, but judiciary is already doing that. Memang dah ada special corruption courts dekat KLI court kan. And we hope to see more of that lah. Yeah. All using the same playbook. So, pergi court hari masuk hospital. Setuju. Saya saja yang bila ada kes lah, tiba-tiba ada orang tuduh saya ambil 2 bilion ringgit. Wah. Kalau saya ada 2 bilion ringgit, saya tak ada lah buat perjumpaan dekat Dewan Cina ni kan. But I think I was the only one yang more than happy. Okay, you nak siasat saya pergi. Saya pergi tiap-tiap hari. Akhirnya pegawai SPRM tu letih bila lah dia nak berhenti bercakap ni kan. Sebab bila you kena soal siasat, dia kena ambil note tau, verbatim everything you cakap. You dapat orang macam aku daripada pukul 10 pagi sampai 10 malam saya tak berhenti bercakap. So, I think buat masa sekarang lah kan, yang macam UMNO semua ni, bila diorang dituduh kan, they think they can do it. Ditahan, nak disiasat, terus masuk hospital. They think they can do it because they think they can get away with it. Kan? Tapi tak apa, kita ada internet. Every single thing dia masuk hospital semua ni ada digital footprint. Dia akan kekal di situ. So it's not a lost cause. Nanti bila sampai masa yang inilah kita akan gunakan. And it's this subliminal messaging yang kita perlukan untuk convince pengundi-pengundi atas pagar Melayu. This is the kind of people yang you bagi free ticket tau. Dia dah ambil semua, bila sampai masa they don't even dare to go and defend themselves. Dia masuk hospital kan. It's not, dia mungkin tak ada impact sekarang, but I think it will have a huge impact bit by bit. So saya nak kena tutup Okay. Oh, kita dah kena halau. Sorry. Oops. No, kita dah diminta untuk mengosongkan dewan. I'm sorry. Sebab kita sebenarnya sewa sampai 11.30 saja. So, if Nick allow, saya nak tutup beginilah kan. Actually, dia sama macam kalau kita usahakan sesuatu lah. Actually, the good things in life, dia tak pernah instant noodle. You nak makan spaghetti yang bagus, semua makanan bagus, you expect macam Maggi mee 4 minit dapat. It doesn't work like that. Yang instant itu selalunya instant lah, dia tak bagus lah kan. So any good things in life takes a lot of patience, passion, it takes a lot of work supaya when we truly get it, we can inherit it kepada yang muda-muda and it stays for a long time. So that's exactly what we are doing, and I hope you continue helping us, and hopefully lah kita menang beberapa kerusi di Penang dalam PRU akan datang. Kira. So terima kasih, minta maaf kepada Dewan, kita dah terlajak 30 minit. Apa-apa kalau terlebih nak kena charge extra, minta dengan Nick. Thank you very much.